Hello, everyone. Good to see so many of you came out today. I know it's been a long week for some of you. I know it has been for me. My name is Lars. Thanks to our friends over at Valerie for having me. I'm the co-founder and CTO of a company called Almanac. And today I want to share with you how we think that AI agents are going to change the way that we manage and grow our wealth. But before we do that, I want to take you back to my childhood. Up above here, you see a game. I see a few hands going up. Some of you might recognize it. Maybe hands up, who here recognizes or has played in the past RuneScape? I see many hands going up. Nice. All right, cool. Yeah, I used to, right around the time that I was 11, I would come from school and log on with my friends and just do some questing, slay some monsters. And at some point, the game introduced something called the Grand Exchange, which is basically an exchange, like an order book exchange for people to trade their items with each other for in-game currency called gold. And I saw an opportunity there. And it wasn't long after that that I found a website that would tell me exactly in a live fashion the spread between the different items on there. So I knew what I could do to make the most amount of money. I would essentially be market making some of the items on this exchange. And I was doing well, but I got a little bit naughty. I decided that it wasn't enough, and I installed a certain piece of software to help me do it while I was actually asleep. Obviously, this made me more money, and you'd say this, in a sense, was a bot helping me to generate more wealth in this game. But one day I woke up to this, and all was for nothing. Why am I sharing this with you? It's because while I was, like getting rich in this fake in-game currency, there were actual people out there getting rich in greenbacks, in Benjamin Franklin's. They were automating the financial markets that we all know. And you can see here over the years from 2003 to 2012, the amount of activity in the financial markets that became automated is now north of 85%. It still is today. So this is financial automation at work. It is also in DeFi today. If you know anything about MEV bots, arbitrage bots, all of these things are automated today. And more of that is coming. We're talking market making, trading. It's no longer just humans clicking the buttons. It's actual software applications doing the work. Keep this trend in mind because I'm going to skip to another trend. I don't really want to pause here much. All of you are super familiar with everything going on. Maybe one notable thing to mention that was also just mentioned on the panel is that one of the models by OpenAI, O1, recently scored 120 on an IQ test, which is far above any other model, and also above the average IQ of humans in the world, which is around 100. So these two trends combined, financial automation on the left, AI on the right, they are bringing us agents, right? Or at least that's what we're being told. And the term agents for me has become so convoluted. Like whoever I talk to, they have a different interpretation of what an agent actually is. It's super confusing. It doesn't tell me anything really. Sometimes this is the glorified bot. Sometimes it's just an LLM that I talk to get something done. But I think to get more clarity on what this is and how it can help us manage our money in DeFi, I want to define it with you guys first. So let's do that. First sentence that came to my mind, a software application that can autonomously execute instructions I give to it. That didn't feel right? Like we had this in 2003 when market-making bots were doing market making. This didn't feel right, and it doesn't do justice to some of the AI developments today. So I crossed this out. Go to the next one. A little bit more sophisticated. A software application that uses ML models to execute instructions I give to it. This is nice. This is starting to sound more like it. We're adding some AI to it. However, we were doing this already back in 2016, 17, when quants were training models, regression models to do trading for them. So with the recent, LLM introductions, I don't think this made sense either. So I crossed this one out, and I came to one that was a little bit more elaborate. A software application that can extract information from a changing and unstructured environment, right? It's not necessarily trained to do one specific thing. It doesn't have one specific input. It is adaptable to its environment and can do many different things. It can reason about that information in the context of its objective. So we give an agent an objective, and it can think about what it sees in the world and come to a conclusion. It can discover patterns in that data and learn from that and be able to use that in the future in, again, the context of its objective. And finally, it can perform actions that its owner did not even consider. And this one is also very important. If I have a model of which the output is bet against or bet for something, I know all of the possible outcomes of what this agent can do. It's either going to bet for or against. However, there's agents today that can do things that I didn't know it was going to do in the context of the objective that I gave it, and that's what makes agents so special. So that's why I want to challenge the current agent definition a little bit. I think most of them are glorified bots, and I think there's something more special that is just beyond the horizon and coming to us very soon. So the taxonomy. On the right side here, financial automation, or actually it's on your left, it's on my right. Financial automation can be a trading bot that does moving average trading. An AI, we know the fear and greed index. If you're familiar with that, that is a machine learning model doing sentiment analysis essentially on Twitter, and this is machine learning, it's proper AI. But if we have a trading application that uses the fear and greed index to trade, that is still not an agent. It does not pass all of the rules that we just laid out in our definition. We know exactly what it's going to do. It's going to either buy or sell. And we know exactly the input that it requires, namely the fear and greed index. So agents kind of have their own little island here. And why is that important? Why is it important that we separate these non-agents that are still at the intersection from what I would say are actual agents? It's because agents, they can discover more opportunities because they are able to perceive their environment in ways that you don't know beforehand they can. They can come up with more complex strategies. They can think many steps ahead. They can combine, maybe in the context of DeFi, many different protocols. They can personalize strategies based on your financial profile. So if you're 65, you probably don't want to go all in 100x leverage on your favorite meme coin. You probably want to take it easy a little bit. And this stuff is important if you're 65 and want to retire. And finally, they're just going to perform better, right? If you're considering more opportunities and you can get more complex in the way that you execute on your strategies, you just have an edge over other software entities that just don't. So, for example, agents will be able to identify a DEX that was launched yesterday, find a pair that was launched on that DEX today, see that it has high volume, see the opportunity that that creates, namely market making, simulate that opportunity to see if actually it's going to make it money, if it engages with that opportunity. And then finally, if yes, go ahead, deploy that and monitor it. There's no product or demo out there today that can do all of these things. It is just not here. But it's going to come, and I'm going to show you how. So the goals for this talk are to understand what agents are and how they will change DeFi. They will also change finance as a whole, but obviously we're a crypto conference, so we focus on DeFi because I believe DeFi is the future of finance. The blueprint of a financial agent, and finally how to position yourself for the financial agent future. But first, I think I should introduce myself a little bit. I haven't done that yet. My name is Lars. As I said, I was co-founder and CEO of Almanac. I've been a machine learning engineer for the past 7 years, implementing recommender systems and other AI-powered applications in various industries, ranging from healthcare all the way to commerce. In the last 4 years, I've been in the AI x crypto space, first as a risk simulator at the Delphi Digital team, and then over the last 3 years, I've been involved with Almanac. And my goal, and that's also the goal kind of embodied in the company that I helped co-found, is to make financial intelligence accessible to all. So let's talk about how we get to that future where we have what I would call the real agents. So I want you to think of financial agents as a team of quants, right? This is essentially the job that we want to kind of replace, automate with agents. So based on your financial profile, what quants do is they analyze the market. They're hunting for alpha, looking for things that other people haven't seen. They build a strategy around that. They test it. They optimize it. They deploy it if it all looks right. They will monitor it, and if stuff goes south, they will just go back to the drawing board. Now, what do they use for that? They have a strategy development suite. This is usually what traders and hedge funds, like these bigger corporations, have access to. They've probably built it themselves. They have a strategy deployment infrastructure, right, to interface with the financial markets and for a place to these strategies to be alive. And then finally, and this is not really something they build, but they use it, it is the financial market infrastructure. So how can we agentify the work of a quant? And we're going to add a fourth primitive here. So we have these three, and we're going to add a reasoning infrastructure. And now you see where kind of the AI comes in. There was just talk about O1 that is able to reason using chain of thought. And we can leverage the exact same technology to help automate this process of what a quant team would usually go through. I'm going to walk through each of these primitives with you to see what they would look like in the financial agent, DeFi agent context, except for the financial market infrastructure, because for us, that's just DeFi. And I could spend a whole lot of time on DeFi, but we're not going to do that today. So let's start with the first two primitives, the strategy development suite and the deployment infrastructure. So tools to aid the quant flow, analyze DeFi markets, again, hunt for alpha, create strategies, test, optimize, deploy. I'll talk about these companies in a sec. The challenges with automating this process is that there's new DeFi products every day, right? There's a new DEX every day. There's a new money market every day. So keeping up to date with all of this and be able to spot the opportunities on these new environments is a big challenge for agents. So they need to be, again, adaptable, be able to scout these new venues without human intervention. So that's one of the big challenges. It needs to be non-custodial, right? Ideally, I don't give all my money to that agent for it to then just gamble it away and lose it all, right? I want to have some control over it. It needs to be reliable. I don't want my strategy to go down halfway and be stuck in some position that might not be good anymore 5 minutes later. And finally, we need privacy. And this is the big one. Why is this the big one? Because it sets apart financial agents from all other agents. Because there's alpha in the strategies that you create, that your agent creates. And the moment you deploy that on chain, other people will front run you, they will steal your alpha, it's gone. So you need these strategies to run in a private environment. They cannot run on chain, as opposed to some of the other agentic or agents, if you will. I listed a couple companies here that are building in this space. Obviously, we're building in this space. We're building a strategy development suite and deployment infrastructure as Almanac. Obviously, our friends at Valerie and OLS have the open autonomy framework and many kits. And then there's Compass Labs and 3 Commas. I'm not going to go into those, but these are two of the primitives that we need for DeFi agents to become real. And then the third primitive, the final one, the reasoning infrastructure. We need expert financial reasoning models. This is going to be very important. If I use ChatGPT 4 today or even O1, the likelihood of it developing a very profitable strategy based on the information that it can perceive from the market is pretty low. And that is because it just hasn't been trained to be a quant. It probably had some quant data in its data set somewhere, but it's not an expert quant, and it can probably not compete in that market. So some of the challenges here are data, right? We need to fine-tune a model to be an expert quant and actually be good at it, right? This data is usually siloed with some of the bigger hedge funds, trading houses, because they've been making strategies based on the current market conditions for ages. So they're most likely to get these fine-tuned models first, but I hope we can make those accessible to all. Again, privacy here. You probably don't want your fine-tuned model to be private, therefore also it cannot run on some kind of public infrastructure. You need to probably host it yourself. Security. The moment that agents are going to be out there and they're going to be trading and they're going to be trying to identify opportunities, you bet that there's people that are going to come in and they're going to try and bait agents into interacting with a contract that is not legit and a honeypot. Very dangerous. You've seen people perform adversarial attacks on LLMs already. It's just, this is dangerous stuff, so we need to build safeguards for that as well. And then finally, just mistakes, right? Like these programs, they make mistakes no matter how good they are. So how do we deal with mistakes? My time is up, so I'm going to quickly run through here. Kensho is a very interesting company working with this. They're a traditional finance company, but they're working on a benchmark for quantitative reasoning for AI models. So I'm definitely going to keep them in mind because that's probably the model that you're going to be fine-tuning. And then Dane as well, which is a company that is using LLMs to create DeFi strategies. So what does that roadmap look like? Like, where are we on this roadmap to what I would call real financial agents? Well, first of all, you need that best-in-class DeFi strategy automation platform. At Almanac, we've been building that for the past 2 years. We're currently in closed alpha. So if you're interested, I'll share a QR code soon. Please join us, be part of the revolution. That's going to be very interesting. And then in Q1, we're going to be working on and hopefully releasing very soon these fine-tuned quant models that can actually come up with strategies that make sense and can make you money. I have a demo. I don't really want to spend too much time on this. Essentially, this is the product that you'd be interacting with. I'll quickly show the agent UI. After you log in, you'll see a list of strategies that are currently live, your value over time. You can see the different kinds of strategies that they're deploying. Some of them are underwriting options in an options protocol. Some of them are market making. Some of them use ML models. Some of them don't, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not going to spend too much time here anymore. I'll just go to the next slide. So to round up, how to prepare for this agentic future. It's a bit scary. But it fully depends on who you are and what your job is. If you're a DeFi strategist or quant, you're going to need to learn to be the co-pilot. This is kind of what programmers are currently going through. It's what I'm going through, right? Like, I'm a programmer, I make software. I feel a bit on edge sometimes when I see co-pilot and when I see cursor, and if you've been using these AI tools, like, I feel like I'm going to be very replaced soon. It's called co-pilot, but I feel like I'm the co-pilot. The same is going to happen to quants, right? So learn how to interact with these models, learn how to empower yourself by using these models, because yeah, they're going to be as good as you, and at some point they're going to be better. So use them. If you're a market participant, get yourself some agents. Whether you like it or not, agents are going to be here, and they're probably going to be better than humans. They're going to be better than you. So it's kind of a prisoner's dilemma, right? Like, if I don't use agents, probably someone else will. Therefore, I probably should also use agents if I want to be competitive. For investors, invest in these primitives that I just listed. So invest in strategy development infrastructure, ideally ones that are open source. And finally, if you're a DeFi protocol, you might want to start optimizing for agents instead of humans, right? Like, flashy UIs and smooth UX are no longer going to do it. You're going to need to have the best execution. You're going to need to have integrations with agent platforms so that they can access your liquidity and the volume is kind of flowing to you. So be part of this journey. Don't get left behind. I don't want to give you FOMO, but it's coming. It's coming very soon. If you want to be part of this, if you want to sign up for our alpha, we're currently letting people in every week. If you're a builder, connect with us. We can help you attract this agentic volume that's going to come. If you're an investor, reach out. We're always interested in talking. And if you're a builder and you want to help build this future, we have some jobs on our jobs board as well. You can all find them in this QR. Thanks again, and hope you have a wonderful evening.